Coming up on OU Nightly, everything from abstract to instrumental. The Oklahoma City Festival of Arts begins today. Despite bad unemployment news across the country, Oklahoma is still ranking high on one national list. The number of armed Oklahomans is on the rise. Are you and your family safe? And finally, happy Blake Griffin Day. The state celebrates the college career of the former OU forward. All this and more next on OU Nightly.
Good evening and welcome to OU Nightly on this Tuesday, April 21st. I'm Shanna Miller.
And I'm Emily Blanding. We're bringing you news from around campus and from around the state.
Well, spring is finally here, and with this nice weather, of course, comes a very famous Oklahoma tradition. Brooke Thomas takes us to the opening day at the Oklahoma City Festival of Arts.
Here in Oklahoma City, there is a world of color and life that is a new addition to the myriad botanical gardens. The 43rd Annual Festival of Arts kicked off today, and the nice weather brought out artists and attendees from all over, including one man whose ancient silk painting techniques have landed him in the spotlight.
This technique is regarding as a lost art. It's almost like 700 years old. And Miller Sheet Art Gallery of the Los Angeles County Fair has been collecting my work.
Other artists had more contemporary paintings.
I mean, I like color, so there's an awful lot you can do with it. So you already have something really, really beautiful to start with, and then, of course, as an artist, you can change it any way you want it.
Here at the Oklahoma City Festival of Art, art is more than just paint on a canvas.
Traditionally from Australia, we make these and have been doing it for about 20 years. And they're made from wild agave, and we hollow and shape the interior to get really good back pressure and tone definition. So this is inlaid with abalone and papua shells, and it's got snakes that come through. So each one of those dots is one dot at a time.
No matter what kind of art is created, the one thing they all have in common is they take time.
Like one of the really large ones over here is probably 24 hours.
I can easily spend between 20 to 30 hours painting just one dish with.
It probably takes about 4 hours to sand this whole piece down to get it really smooth.
Although these works of art are only a temporary exhibit in the gardens, these vivid pieces can permanently brighten any buyer's home. Brooke Thomas, OU Nightly.
Well, Emily, that sure looks like a lot of fun. And the Festival of Arts will continue through Sunday, and of course there will be plenty of live and performing arts at the festival as well.
Well, let's hope that the nice weather sticks around until Sunday too.
Let's hope so. Vivek, what can you tell us about the rest of the week?
It does look like this nice weather will continue, but we'll have that in Maine weather. Today was a perfect spring-like day. Temperatures in the 70s and 80s across the state. We're 79 right now in Norman, 83 in Wichita Falls, 80 in Amarillo, approaching 90 degrees once you get into Texas, 88 in both Abilene and Midland. If you have any evening plans, it looks like it's going to be one of the best evenings you could ask for in Oklahoma. 77 degrees at 7 o'clock. Once the sun sets, temperatures will drop into the 60s by 9, about 68 or so. By midnight, 61 degrees with a very light south wind, so a very, very comfortable evening. We'll have your full forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Vivek. A major airplane manufacturer is turning its repair duties over to Tulsa's Nordam Group. Boeing Company announced it will turn its aircraft maintenance over to Nordam for the next 3 years. Nordam Group will be responsible for repairing the thrust reversers of the company's 737 next generation planes. No word yet if the contract will create more jobs, but company execs say they could see some jobs added later to the project. A 10 Commandments monument might be built on Oklahoma's Capitol grounds. After heated debate, the Senate voted to pass the bill. Some representatives view the 10 Commandments as a historical document. Others say the bill is offensive and violates the Constitution. The bill will return to the House before the decision is finalized.
A Tulsa County judge will sentence a man to life in prison after scalding his 2-year-old son with hot water to death back in 2005. Carlos Anthony Ball's attorney asked Judge Tom Gillert to issue a resentencing rather than send the case back to jury. It's not yet determined whether he will be eligible for parole. Oklahomans will soon be helping give light to underdeveloped areas in Pakistan. Tulsa-based company Pro Energy EPC Services and Pakistani businessmen announced plans today for building 2 power plants overseas. Tulsa's EDG engineers will provide the engineering for the project. The contract is valued at nearly $100 million for both Oklahoma companies.
They've been caught bothering at least 28 Oklahomans on the do not call list. Now state officials say enough is enough. Attorney General Drew Edmondson announced today the state has filed a civil lawsuit against Texas-based group Golden Senior Advisors. Edmondson says the company violated Oklahoma's do not call law and made those calls with an automatic dial device. If convicted, violators face up to $10,000 in fines per violation. And from unwanted to most wanted, the FBI adds another name to its most wanted terrorist list. Colt Ashley is in the news center with more. Colt?
That's right. Today is the first time the FBI has added a suspected domestic terrorist to its most wanted terrorist list. The Bureau unveiled a list of suspects from Al-Qaeda and other global terror suspects, including California animal rights activist Daniel Andres San Diego. The 31-year-old activist has been on the run for 6 years and is accused of bombing 2 corporate offices back in 2003. Now, supposedly, he did this because the companies had ties to animal testing labs. Investigators hope that international publicity from including him on the list will help them find him. And President Obama's nominee for Secretary of Health and Human Services moved a step forward today. The Senate Finance Committee approved Kansas Governor Kathleen Sebelius. Several Republicans voiced concerns over Sebelius' ties to a late-term abortion doctor and her commitment to ensure that the government should not interfere with the doctor-patient relationship. Sebelius' nomination now goes to the full Senate for a final vote. And several major companies joined forces today to make prescription drug information easier to understand. Many non-English speakers will soon be able to read instructions in their primary language. 5 companies announced today that the pharmacies at more than 700 stores statewide will translate the information, including Target, Walmart, and Costco. The companies agreed to counsel and provide written translations in Spanish, Chinese, Italian, Russian, and French. So, Emily, that's what's going on around the U.S. Back to you in the main studio.
All right, thank you, Colt. For those of you who like pistachios, beware. Jerry's Nut House is recalling selections of the nut. In-shell, shelled, roasted, and salted, and shelled raw pistachios made the list. The call was made due to possible contamination with salmonella. There have been no reports of illness. And there's good news for workers in Oklahoma City. Our capital city made a huge leap, jumping from 30th to number 9 best big city in the nation for jobs this year. Growing employment numbers in a booming leisure and hospitality sector are partially credited for the ranking. Employment in natural resources, mining, and construction, as well as wholesale grew. This is an area where most large cities saw job loss.
Has the digital transformation left you with a TV dinosaur? Well, Tulsa city officials are helping residents dispose of their dead, non-digital devices. A new city program will allow Tulsans to recycle obsolete TVs free of charge. Tulsans interested in the program must have a voucher to drop off their TVs at local businesses, and only 1 voucher per household is allowed. If you'd like to request a voucher, you can find out where you can drop off your TV. You can call 918-596-9777. Again, that number is 918-596-9777. And you might have been wondering, but now you'll know for sure. Toby Keith will not be running for governor of Oklahoma. The country music star told the National Press Club today that being a politician means he would have to get along with just too many people. And he, quote, couldn't deal with all the lies. Keith leaves later today to perform more than a dozen shows overseas for soldiers.
With summer on its way, Governor Brad Henry may give you even more incentive to want to walk or bike in the sun. Find out how next on Political Tuesday.